We're actually streaming right now.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. How you doing today, buddy?
Happy Saturday to you, my man. Thanks for taking time out of the day to help other people and jump on this live. Let me just
Absolutely,
make,
man.
uh,
Absolutely.
I'm using a streaming service that I don't normally use, which is like a multi-platform stream service called Restream. And I just want to make sure it's on multiple platforms right now. So I see we're live on my personal profile. So if you guys are here, say what's up to myself and Datrice here, hashtag live, hashtag replay. We're going to be talking some sales talk here today on this fine Saturday. So hope you guys have some free time to take a breath away from client work and kind of just get a reset. And maybe we can help you guys get more clients with a couple tweaks or something that we talk about on this live here too. So give me 1 second. Datrice, why don't you introduce yourself while I'm just checking if where we're live right now, if it's going in the groups and everything.
Absolutely. Nice to meet everybody. My name is Datrice Masumo. I actually live and reside in Minneapolis, Minnesota right now, but I'm originally from Liberia in Africa. Right. I came here when I was 7 years old. I'm 24 now. I have about 7 years of sales experience. Worked at corporate sales, and then eventually, I got into high ticket closing, high ticket sales, where now I close deals for different businesses and different influencers. In the back end, I generate them, millions of dollars through revenue, and also train and I develop salespeople in the process too as well.
Boom, I love it. That's awesome. So you come out guns swinging or flinging whatever with people and just close people's deals for them, right?
Yep,
So that's
yep.
pretty awesome. Yeah, I know we've had a separate conversation ourselves, which we'll continue that discussion too. But yeah, I want to drop some fire here on this Saturday. So my background, in case you guys don't know me, I know we may be friends or connected somehow. I run a company called Custom Creatives. It's a digital marketing agency. So I sell SEO, Google ads, Facebook ads. So if you guys need help with ideas or offers or sales positioning, you can always reach out. And then now I also started the GSD group, which is for Get Shit Done. And we teach agency owners to scale their business through our 15 years of experience and working with publicly traded companies to the mom and pop shops you drive by on the streets today and digitize their businesses. So that's kind of the background. So let's go over what you do. You're selling high ticket. Is it high ticket coaching or high ticket retainer based stuff?
So I'm selling both, right? So I close
Okay.
deals for different businesses who are doing retainer based products, or whether they're just doing one time coaching and services or consulting. I also sell that for as well, but I also have my own product, which is a coaching product that I actually coach and develop sales trainers onto as well.
Got it. Okay. So like let's just say I'm a new salesperson or I'm the business owner and this is my passion. Like what do you teach or coach business owners on from a sales process from like the very start? Because normally they're passionate about the product and service. And heck, they may even be good at selling it, but then there's a time and a point where they need to scale. But
Yeah,
also when they do scale, they're so passionate about the product, the coaching product, the retainer service and what they do that they become ineffective because of
exactly.
the emotion to it.
Exactly. And that's the biggest thing too. I work with business owners to let themselves detach from their back end and selling. Because I worked with a business owner and she was having a problem selling her product, even though it was a tremendous product, was because her emotion was tied to it. It's like, man, I don't think people are gonna buy 3,500. I don't think people are gonna buy that. I'm like, it's because you're selling it. You need to focus on the business itself. You need to focus on the product. You need to focus on marketing. You need to focus on, a content. You need to focus on being the business owner. You need to delegate that process to a sales manager or a sales trainer or somebody who can, actually close deals for you in the back end. And I also work with businesses where they can actually develop, a good commission process too as well. Because what I found out is that a lot of, business owners, they're either overpaying, their reps, or they're underpaying their reps. And I develop a structure to make them both compete with each other, having, actual sales rep feel like the entrepreneurs, make them actually, have room to grow and develop. As they, do more, they'll earn more, that type of deal. And then also with the business owner, letting them have different types of tiers of reps, right? Having a rep that's intermediate, having a rep that's, very, calculated, and a rep is who's really performing well too as well. So kind of knowing the difference. So I help them develop a commission structure, and I also help them in terms of data too as well. Because when I'm back there, I'm speaking to thousands of people every single day on the phone call. I hear what they're saying. I know whether it's a good lead or whether it's a bad lead. I hear everything in the back end. So I'm also giving them a lot of data and showing them how to use that data to make their leads better so we can close more deals.
Cool. Like pivoting from that, like listening to calls, good lead, bad lead. We hear that all the time. And we don't take that as a surface level answer. We have to dig into, like, we have to listen to the call, break down, like, was the lead early in the journey? Are they more familiar with us? Did they come from an ad, organic, a referral? So sometimes it just comes to really bad setup of the call from the sales pro, not the customer. Can't blame the person that wants information, right?
Yeah.
So the way they get to us is a lead, right? It's a prospect that turned into an opportunity. So we whoever's watching, by the way, if you're here for maybe the first like 5 or 10 people, maybe all you guys, I don't know, but maybe the first 10 for sure. I'll give away my sales script. I'll share that with you guys. And keep in mind, it's a script. It's not a magic pill. It takes like lots of studying and listening and the tone and knowing what to ask, when to ask it, all that kind of stuff. But I'll give
Love
it
that
to
you
you.
say that, because like you people will be like, give me the script. All I need is a script and I'll be good. Right? That's not, the script doesn't make you good. It's who you are that makes the script good. You control the script. So I love
Yeah.
how you say that, because people are just like, all I need is a script and I'll know everything. That's not true. You have to know how to build report. You have to know how to use the script. You have to know how to loop with the script. You have to know so many different strategies with that script.
Yeah, it's a starting point, or if you're stuck, it's a unstucking point, I guess. And so to get it, like the name of our script, well, it's a framework. It's the 8-step RAD framework. So just type in hashtag RAD, RAD, if you want a copy of it, and someone on my team will make sure you get a copy on Messenger here. So I'm going to pivot into the RAD, and I'll let you kind of talk about what you think about this. RAD is rapport, agenda, discovery. The rest is not as important, which is like, it is very important to be able to articulate and have the fluid conversation and kind of attach the object or the concerns or the big pain points from the discovery to the presentation side. But those first three things are whether or not you're going to kind of have a successful presentation, a delivery process, a close, have legitimate concerns to actually address versus some bullshit of something you possibly missed above that. So that's where we focus on, is like, how do you get good at the first three steps? And the first two are really, those are actual scripts. Because rapport, it's like, hey, I see you're calling from the 310. Are you in Los Angeles? Awesome. You mind if we get into it? Cool. And then you go into the agenda. And then after the agenda, we say, like, get the attraction. Like, how do they know you? What motivated them to hop on the call? And then go into the discovery. So is that process similar to what you're coaching and teaching too?
Yep, I love that process right there, because when you first get into it, you create some type of conversation, because small chat, right? What we call a small chat, you get that conversation going, get to know each other, and what that does is break down the barrier with them and kind of gets them more warmed up. It gets them laughing, it gets them conversating a little bit, it gets them loose, because people are scheduling calls and they're thinking somebody's going to sell them on something. They're thinking, oh, this is something else. So when you start conversating with them, where are you from? Where are you located from? Oh, okay. Were you born there? Oh, tell me a little bit about that place. You're creating a little, small chat with them. And then you, just like you say, you state the agenda, which is super important.
Yeah, definitely. And like what I'm doing in that agenda, like, even though it's a small, quick little part of the process in the sale, I'm listening for other things. We're trying to find common ground, but I need to hear their tonality, like what's in the background. Because if I hear busy cars or something, I may think they're either at a cafe on the street or they're walking. So I just want to kind of understand the attention span on how deep we're going to get on this first call, because then I'm thinking, all right, this isn't an opportunity to convert, but I'm still not certain. I'm just kind of like listening for patterns. And are we jiving with their tonality? Are their guards super up? Are they dry? Are they over joyous? Like, I mean, there's so many things that I'm listening for of where you go from there.
Or the intellect. You can hear when you're speaking with somebody, those first 2 minutes, those first 30 seconds, you get to kind of see who that person is, how the conversation, are there someone who's going to open up to you right away, somebody who you have to work through to open them up. You kind of get all that data. Then stay in the agenda. I love how you said that, because it's super important, because you're going to have certain customers that, will try to jump. What's the price? Oh, just tell me about your product. Just tell me what you do. Right. So, but when you state the agenda, you let them know how the phone conversation is going to go, and they agree to that. Now you have control of that conversation.
Yeah, 100%. So why don't we just jump into it really quick? Like, hey, what's the price of what you do?
I totally understand that you want to know the price and everything. But you came on this phone call because you really want a lot of value, right?
Right.
Absolutely. And if I gave you the price right now, you're still going to ask me what we do, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so I just want to jump into exactly what we do so you understand everything. Then at the end of the call, you can make an educated decision whether you want to work with us. How does that sound?
Let's do it. Yeah, so that's a good reframe. Yeah, I kind of go back and kind of use this as one of the options that we use too. I typically just say, you know what, I'd love to get to the price. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about your business to see if we can even help you?
Exactly.
So it's a different way, but yours is good too. So those of you guys watching, smash the heart button, the like button, and one thing I want you guys to do. This is my ninja hack, and I want to give this to you guys. When I'm on other people's Facebook lives, I'm super selfish. So I either ask questions and I get answers for free from people who are people I look up to, and number two, when I'm doing my notes, like I can have a million, like on my desk, I don't even want to show it to you. It's like notes everywhere right now that need to be transcribed. I write all these notes everywhere. But one thing that I now do is I write my notes inside of the people's Facebook lives of the value sentences. Not necessarily to help other people, it's to help me so I can go back and read them myself when I rewatch certain lives. But then what happens is you give so much value to the audience and also the people going live too, that they end up friending you, tagging you. And since it's social networking, people, when they see your name pop up, they somehow think they actually know you in person, when the reality is they don't. It's just like your name is consistent. So that's my ninja tip to you guys. So if you guys see value, keep dropping your notes into here. And if you're live, hashtag replay. So going into back to sales, like what are the top mistakes you see sales pros make? Like the number one thing you fix?
The number one thing that I see, a lot of salespeople do is they don't know how to ask second level questions, right? A lot of people get into this and they just think they can just read the script or they can just talk to somebody without asking those second level questions. Is super important because you have the doctor mentality and you also have the therapist mentality, right? Doctors, you have a runny nose, you don't feel so good, you go to the doctor. The doctor's going to check you out, he's going to prescribe you, he's going to give you something, and then you go home and you have to take the doctor's word for it. With a therapist, their job starts with questions and it ends with questions, and they leverage second level questions. So I see a lot of sales pros, that call themselves sales pros, that come way more from a doctor perspective and not from a therapist perspective. Because if you ask consumers or you ask people, they'll prefer speaking with a therapist because they know the therapist is really going to get detailed with their problems to understand how things even happen to get there. So asking those second level questions are super important. I see not enough sales professionals that know how to ask appropriate second level questions to create conversation or to abstract data or to give pain or to make the customer sell themselves. Those second level questions can be used so tremendously.
Yeah, no, I love that because like a lot of other trainers out there that are very good out in Facebook land and actually human beings, so they're everywhere. But they call it, there's a surface level, and then you go down to those second level, then the tertiary level. And that's important because like when I do listen to calls, even in Facebook Messenger conversations, because that's a big way we're getting like leads and sales and book appointments is through a Facebook post to a Messenger conversation. Then we end up deciding if we're a good fit or not. But it's just digging deep into what they want, because like when somebody says I need more leads, I mean, duh, like who, like that's obviously clear of like we're a marketing agency that says we generate leads. It's clear, we already know that. That's why we're even connected. But then why do you want more leads? And then you realize when you're talking to like a realtor or a lawyer, they're different. Like a lawyer wants to have like a receptionist that can do something well, which is not going to probably happen. And then the real estate agent, their real vision of more leads is they may want to grow a team. They may also want to stay becoming a realtor because they don't have shit to do. They relied on an old school tactic or something that doesn't work right now during the pandemic. So once you understand, like yesterday, I had a real estate call, and it was just like, I just need more leads. I'm like, what's your vision of the company? And he's like, I want to start a digital marketing agency. I'm like, do you want to start one today and quit being a realtor, or what's that look like? And then ultimately, it's like, well, I need more leads so I can grow a team, so then I can grow a digital marketing agency. So now
Yeah.
I know that had a rookie would have probably gone right into digital marketing and just threw up information out of them and just told them what they need and what they want, versus like make them want it even more and like divide and conquer. It's like, hey, you're right, I didn't think of that. And the contrast just starts.
I love that too, because with those second levels and those tertiary level questions, what you're doing is you're also guiding and controlling the conversation. and you're also helping, the prospect to be able to figure stuff out too as well. Because a lot of time prospects are coming to us with, brain nervous systems that are not attached. But when you start asking those second level questions, they start saying, oh, you're right, and start agreeing with you. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Oh, now I understand. Okay, and you start getting more out of them. So you're actually helping the prospect figure out more what they need. Because a lot of times they come into I'm sure they come, speak with you like, yeah, I need more leads, but they actually need a lot more stuff that they never even realized that they needed. And we do that. We let them be aware of that by asking those really hard questions or those second level and third level questions to bring that out of them.
Yeah, totally. Like this just reminds me of like the very first person that taught me. I didn't even know what sales was really. And when I first started, this was dating back. I mean, probably older than some people that may watch this. So I remember my first day in sales, I went into a room, a training room, and it was me and like two or three other people and a whiteboard and a sales guy, kind of like this was old school. So it was kind of like boiler room style training, because then I came aware of the movie Boiler Room and I kind of associate. I'm like, oh, that was kind of similar. But the difference is this trainer was fantastic. 4 hours taught us a framework of 7 steps to a sale, which has evolved. Now it's more on the relationship, the questions and stuff like that. It's not like if I could, would, hard closes and trial closes and stuff. But the one thing that I really still remember and take away is like when we're talking to a prospect, we start off on two opposite sides of the table. We're walking into a negotiation room, right?
Yeah.
Rather than being in a negotiation, two sides, like two different attorneys battling each other. How do we get ourselves on the same side? And the way you get yourselves on the same side is really think of like when you mentioned the doctor therapist analogy, that's a good one. Also to top on top of that is like, just pretend you're guiding your best friend to the best solution. And before he can even talk to that service provider, you're asking him these questions like, why do you need this? What will that solve? Let's just whiteboard really quickly together and document this. And then if there's a direction, then maybe we can recommend ourselves. Maybe we can't. So, I mean, that's another way to kind of think, because when I do my role play calls with people, like I see they're nervous, like I don't want to participate. And it's just like, we're just two pals talking.
Yeah.
We're just two pals. Don't worry about the nerves, because when you're nervous, that means you're thinking about the second question before you ask the first. And since we're like, we talked about frameworks versus scripts, like Robert De Niro, fantastic actor, he operates off a script, right? But then when you're in sales, we have the right questions. Now our brain has to process what's the right time, but we have to react kind of like an athlete, like a LeBron James or a Tom Brady. We have to react. So while we have the script of the playbook, we just react to the audience and kind of adapt into a natural conversation.
I love you bring the athlete stuff up too, because majority of my sales people are athletes, and myself, I was a big athlete as well. And this is no difference even when it comes to entrepreneurship and sales and athleticism, because you have to put a lot of hours in, and not enough salespeople are doing that. They're not putting enough practice in. They're not putting enough role playings in. They're not looking over that script, making sure they know the script. Not just reading it, they know it. Like they've been over it over and over and over and over and over again. They know all the ins and out of it. And when it comes to a call, you're prepared. So like you really want to put a lot of hours into your craft. And sales is a craft. It's not just you're just not just picking up the phone, just closing somebody. This is your craft. This is what you do. There's different styles of closing. There's different rhythm, just like sports. There's people who are a lot taller that can do the hook shot. Other people are shorter that can do the crossovers. You have to know who you are and how you sell yourself. So if you're an athlete, it makes you make the best entrepreneur, because you already have those naturalism through playing sports. Now you just have to transpire that into sales, and you'll become a beast.
Yeah, like what's one, like let's say, what's one sale or one client you've helped that just stands out in your whole career?
Oh, yep. One person that I closed was actually, he was a professional basketball player, Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond plays for the Cleveland
Mhm.
Cavaliers. So yeah, I closed him. It was really interesting because first when we get on the phone call, I had a little butterfly. So I'm like, oh, so,
Yeah.
I was like, Andre Drummond, what does this guy want from me? What can he not get? Right? I'm thinking like, okay, he has the money. He definitely has the money. And may not have the time, so I'm already thinking ahead. He has to delegate this, and I get on the phone with them, and he's on there. He's with his team, his managers in the background, and they're not on the phone, but I can hear them in the background. So it really stood out to me because why does somebody that has millions of dollars, I just watch him sign $60+ million contract, And now this person, how can I give value to this person who, has so much net worth, is already super successful? And that's the first time I really, learned how to find a pinpoint on somebody that you can give value to, that needle in the haystack with the customer. Because you're going to have customers who are saying, oh, I'm too experienced. Oh, I already know how to do this. Oh, I can do this. I can do that. You're going to speak to people who are intermediate. You can speak to people who are advanced. But it really stuck out to me because that's the first time I learned to find that pain point, or find that value point, or find where I can, interject myself to grow big.
Right. I like how you kind of process the information before the call. It's like he has the money, he has to delegate, and you already know this stuff going into a conversation. But had you not known who this person was and learned that stuff on the call, that's also a talent and skill. Because like when I'm talking to people, I know like, all right, startup. Okay, what goes through my hand is either friends, family money that they're borrowing, their own money, or funded. So I need to
Exactly.
discover like, where are you so I can meet you where you are first. Because if it's like, oh, I started in a restaurant because I love my craft of Italian food and you're bootstrapped, then I'm just thinking, okay, we're leaning towards possibly a bad fit. So I can ask harder questions up front.
Yep. And that's
Uh,
big too. That's super
yeah.
big because like what separated me, I noticed when I first started my sales career, was that I took the athlete approach. Like before, I'll go to a basketball game, I'll normally do, I'll check the other teams out and how they play and things like that. I'll watch film. So I got to a point where when I know I have 10 leads today, well, I'm looking those people up on Facebook. I'm looking them up. I'll sometimes search up somebody. I'll see, oh, they got a spouse. They're really family oriented. Or I look in the middle, oh, this person, the athlete, I already know exactly what I want to talk about with them, right? So I gather all that data before I get on the phone with them. And it seems like I've already been knowing them for so years, and I can create rapport like that. They seem like,
Right.
how does this guy know everything about me? I've already done the research, already done the film,
Right.
already closed this deal before the call even started.
Right, right. Yeah, no, that's cool. Doing some research, like on the research side, like the higher the ticket, yeah, the more well researched we're prepared for the call. The lower the ticket, the less researched we are. Where it's like quick and dirty. It's like, hey, if you're cold calling, we don't really do research. It's just like call, and if they answer, then we'll quickly go to LinkedIn, look them up. If it's an inbound lead on your calendar, yeah, we creep on them on Facebook and just see what they're all about, to see what they post, to see what drives them, whether it's family, whether it's food, whether it's like they're inspiring other people. So we kind of have like a little bit of a mental background, and that allows you to kind of have a common ground. Because I think everybody who books a sales call with another company, they need some sort of help, right? They're not booking it because they have a long drive to San Diego and they just need someone to talk to, right? They're looking for information to kind of see, can this person help me? And whether they're a year out or 1 day out or 1 hour out, they're looking for help. So I mean, that's really how, because I hate it when I hear these leads suck. And I'm the kind of guy that when I hear that, I immediately call that lead. And in fact, that happened this last week, where it was just like, the dude is broke. He can only afford like whatever 1/3 of our price. And I'm like, well, this will be interesting. Let me just give it a call. Next thing you know, yesterday he's already getting onboarded with our company. And I'm like, you miss things. You're not, you're pitching on price versus the cost of inaction. Like,
Mm,
what will it cost them if they don't solve the problem now?
love
And
that.
that's typically the greater problem. Then you back it into the financial aspect of it. It's like, well, look, I get I'll be totally fucked if I don't do this a
Mhm,
year now, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year out down the road. But if I
mhm.
do nothing, I mean, I want to do something. So now we break it down to the brass tacks of financing. And if they
Exactly.
don't have the money, but they have the desire and they choose us,
I
then we
love
just
that.
have to solve the financing problem. There's so many people like the builders that make the houses, the Bill Gates, the funded startups in Silicon Valley. They don't use their own fucking money. They use their friends and their family. They're like, I got mine, but I want yours. I want
Exactly. I
your
love that
money.
you say
So
that.
other people's money, borrow it, baby. Go to
I
PayPal.
love it. I love you say that too, because salespeople, another thing a lot of them don't do is they don't help the prospect know how to find money.
Yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
can close so many more deals if you can know how to help your prospect find the money. And that's why that silence sometimes, when you tell them the price, silence after you tell them the price, is super important to do, because now they're thinking about, where can I find this money? Maybe I have it. Do I have it in my savings? Can I ask my mom? Can I ask my dad? A lot of processes going through their head. So when you create a little bit of silence, you let them think about it for a while. And if they can't think about somewhere, you can start suggesting, oh, do you know any friends or family that'll be willing to help you out or support you or invest into you? Do you know anybody that believes in you? That really hits them a lot. Do you know anybody that believes in you? I'm like, oh yeah. My brother actually closed a sale because a prospect I couldn't close on 23 grand, but he had a rich, his girlfriend's parents had money, a lot of money, and they loved them so much that he was willing to go there and tell them, hey, I like this idea. I want to do this thing. And he was able to get funded from his girlfriend's parents to start the business, which led to all of them eventually getting onto the business.
Man,
But
I
if
love
if
that.
I had never, if I had never, asked them those hard questions and said who believes in you or who would support you, he would have never thought about it. Oh, well, my girlfriend's parents are rich as shit.
Yeah.
Let
Well,
me
and I
ask.
want to take a pause there for a second. So, all you guys that are watching this, I mean, that's a powerful one right there. So, hashtag live, hashtag replay one more time. Hit the heart button so this can reach a whole bunch of people because it'll inspire the Facebook algorithm to go through our feeds and whatnot, so more people can see this live because that's super valuable because that's where a lot of sales are lost. In those cases, I want to ask a question. Like, so you've asked them for thinking of ways that they can find financing. You ask them a hard question is like, do your friends, your loved ones support you? And then at that stage where they're thinking like, oh, dude, like I can ask my girlfriend's parents. Now, do you get a deposit right then and there, or do you give them? Do you have which is very hard to do as a salesperson, is being patient? Do you get patient and saying, okay, let's check in with you tomorrow?
Yeah. So what I'll do is because people are so caught up on one call close, which is great. Don't let me get me wrong. I'm a one call close person, but you also have to be, flexible. That's what makes you not lose any money in the back end because sometimes the most money I ever made was through follow ups, right, and building relationships. So I always tell someone it's okay if you don't. You kind of switch it up. You say it's okay if you don't have the money, right? I understand. I understand your current situation. We talked earlier about this, right? And then I'll start letting them know kind of their situation. Hey, I understand you know you have a job, right? They're gonna be like, yeah. Do you get paid this Friday or next Friday? And they're gonna tell me, oh, I get paid next Friday. Oh, okay. Let's get started next Friday, or let's start with the payment plan next Friday. So now I'm helping them find and locate that money. If you can't do it tonight, I'll be, depending on how the conversation goes, though, I might be willing to let them off, to talk to them tomorrow or the next, couple of days or something, like depending on how the conversation goes. And because earlier I always asked them, big questions like, how committed are you from a scale to 1 to 10? So they're telling me how committed they are. So if I get those questions and I feel like this person is super, super committed, there's somebody they're 99.9% that is going to sign up, then I'll be wanting to work with them. But if not, I'm gonna tell them, okay, next time you speak to me, price might go from 23 to 30.
Right, right. Did they face pressure, or like when you say the price increase, how do you think they receive it? Like as truth, like saying, "Oh, dude, I get it, man. Like let's do this," or do they feel a sense of urgency of like almost like this dude's bullshitting me?
Yeah, and it's how we deliver it, but we want to
Right.
create a certain sense of urgency. Hey, we take 22 people every single month. I know you want to do this next month, but we take 22 people every single month.
Right.
And we have this something called ejection. I'm going to speak to another 5, 10 other people today, and we will depict whether you want to pick with them or not, work with them or not. But we only take 22 people every single month. And if you can't do this right now, by the time you want to come back and schedule a call, you're gonna be in the back of the line.
Right. Cool. I like that. Now, do you take deposits, like going back? I don't know if you already answered this, but do you take the deposit in the scenario where they're a week out for the paycheck and say, like, hey, like, we'll just take a small deposit, reserve your line, you're locked in. Welcome to the family, my man. What's the
Yeah,
credit card?
I'm a deposit guy.
Yeah.
I'll take a deposit and see how serious you are. I always get that commitment because if you tell me I really, really want this, I really do. Okay, then I understand you don't got the full $1,000, but I'll take a deposit from them. I had one time I was selling a low ticket product. It was $100 product, and I had this guy literally pay $5 a day.
That's funny. That had to be. I hope that's a while ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've done the craziest, unique things. I had a client paying like I think it was like $500 a month for like 26 months. And I'm like, dude, we deliver it like everything right now. I'm like it's funny. Yeah, I've done
Yeah,
that
so
before
I
too.
would do that a lot with a prospect to kind of see how serious they are and get their commitment level before I take a deposit. But I'll take a deposit because where your money is and where you receive money is where your focus is at.
Yeah, no, definitely. And what we found is when we do the deposit, you're right. It does test their commitment level. And then we do the loop around if we see friction. And plus, when we ask for the deposit, we actually didn't tell them the amount. So am I still live here? All right, Datrice, you still am I live or did I cut out? I can't tell. Can someone tell me if I'm live? Just drop a little comment saying yes, you are. I see Datrice is frozen. So I don't know if it's him or me. Say Rahul is live in the comments here, just so I know. Might be his end. Okay, so anyways, yes, live. Thanks, Landon. All right, so it's the tree. Oh, okay, never mind. I just looked up. I thought he was moving around. The deposit side, what I was getting at, if you guys are using the deposits, that's what we. Or you're back. I couldn't tell if it was you or me, but I was on the deposits. I didn't skip a beat yet. When I deliver the deposit line, like I don't ask them, I don't tell them the amount. So if they have friction, we kind of loop it back of like the commitment levels and all that stuff. But then we also say like, well, I didn't tell you how much it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so sometimes like we have $1,000 deposit, but then we're just, even if it's $1, we just want that commitment because then we have somebody who is just like, does want to change. There's uncertainty somewhere. And we want to discover what those are after they've committed to the deposit, saying, now that we've got your deposit, let's just talk about like what is going to look like in the future. So it's like a future state, and then like saying like what's going to stop us from moving forward. Like we can have a hardcore like, look, you want to change, I want to change you. If I show up 100% to support your business every single time we speak, do I have that same mutual commitment from you that you'll do the same? And once I give them that kind of chatter or talk, it's just more of a confidence in themselves thing, but then the conviction of like, look, we're not going to let you fucking fail.
I
Like
love I love that.
you do this, you do the fucking work. Like you literally have no way to fail unless you do not do the work, period.
Love
That's
that.
really it.
How do you give? Because I'm really big on motivation, inspiring, the clients. How do you give somebody confident on the phone call? Because a lot of time our prospects, they don't make decisions in quickly because they don't have confidence in themselves that either one, they'll actually do the work that it takes, and that they're capable of doing it. So how do you transpire that to the prospect?
Well, I need to know their history a little bit. So I need to know what they've done in the past. And then I need to know what bothered them the most about that. And then I have to understand like, is if it's an internet course, like let's say we're talking about program sales, right? So if it's an internet course, the likelihood that you're actually going to succeed is like 5%. So
Mm,
the odds are stacked against you anyway. So it's not your fault. You just
mhm.
need the right leadership. What went wrong there? Do you feel that if you had somebody in your ear every single week helping motivate you through the whole entire process, you'd have a greater chance for success?
Mm.
And I kind of walk them through that, and I'll say like, where do you think like your struggles lie the most, so we can kind of attack those first, and saying, would it be okay if I give you recommendations of where I think we should start our roadmap? Because while we have this program that can take you to 6 figures a month and beyond, we want to make sure that you're not indulging everything at once, because that's where we cause like what is it, like failure, but also you're going to be like lost. You're going to start a sales program part in our system. You're going to start organic marketing, then paid traffic, and then you're not going to finish everything. So I need to know, what are we going to accomplish in 90 days from today? Are we going to be at 30K a month? Are we going to be at 10K a month? What's your goal? Then we
Yeah.
build the custom roadmap to that. And I bring up an analogy of the triangle offense, from the Lakers. I'm like, look, we like, our system works. The system is the same. It doesn't matter the players, or it doesn't matter who our students are, really. Once we put them in the triangle offense, all we're going to do is change the triangle for you, because we're going to start you somewhere. Someone's going to start at the top of the key, someone's going to be at the left near the three, and someone's going to be the center. In this case, we shift where you're going to start to get you to that roadmap goal. So
Mm.
while the program inside has really great knowledge, we start you at the right place. But then our leadership every single week, you're going to have like me and my partner Cody in your ear telling you to reach your goals, but not in like a military sergeant type of way, in a caring, sincere way. And I know that there's people that are like, their fear of there's an uncertain, they don't want to show up because they don't want to show up with no wins. We make sure that a win is waking up in the morning, a win is going to the gym, a win is taking a shower. We got a micro win, right? Now we just have to take it to the next micro win. Have a conversation with a person if you don't like sales. Call a lead that said no to you back, and then try to make a reoffer. And magical things happen when you now know and gain the confidence inspired by somebody else that says, like, I can fucking do it. And that's kind of where we get them to be confident.
Yep, yep. No, that's unique too as well, and that's amazing. And I always try to throw a little encouraging words there, right? Like, especially when I'm asking them, their goals and their dreams and things like that. I'm like, you got it. You could do this. You can have that life that you want. Yes, you got it. If I'm asking them, what motivates you, to time out a day and schedule this call with us. Oh man, I just want to change my life. I want to increase my business. You got it. You can do it. And that's why we're here. That's why we're on this phone call with you. We're gonna help you do that. You're capable of doing that, right? Just throwing in little phrases after those questions and supporting them, but then also I like to acknowledge that gap, have them acknowledge their own gap. So I understand you're making $5,000 a month right now and you want to get to $20,000 a month, but what's the biggest thing that you feel is stopping you from getting there? And I let them think and I let them process and give me that answer of what's stopping them from getting to that next level. And they're gonna say, oh, I want to I don't have that right mentorship and I'm trying to do it faster. And I've been screwed over before. I'm just looking for the right program that's a good fit.
Right.
Now I abstract that and then I support off of that. Absolutely. That's what we're here for, because it's really important that you listen to people who have what you want and have been where you've been, right? So that's where we're going to be that mentorship and that guide for you, because we already have that success. Our students already have that success. The biggest thing is we're just looking for people who are going to do the work. Do you believe you'll do the work? They're like, yeah, awesome. Then this will work for you. Then I get to the next question.
Yeah, no, that's good. Because I mean, people have these levels of uncertainty that you have to get them to believe in. And shout out to Eli Wild, who's Tony Robbins' like #1 salesperson, 9-figure sales guy. Like, he talks about these different levels of certainty that you have to get past. And my partner Cody talks about the 310s. They have to believe in, like, it's a Jordan Belfort thing. I'm gonna probably fuck this up. Yeah, there you go. You do it.
It's a product. You want to make sure that your prospect is very, very certain about the product. This is the product for me. This is a great product. It works. I believe in the product. And the second tense is going to be the individual that's selling the product. Do they trust you? Because a lot of times you can have a good product, they can believe in they can believe in everything else, but the guy's just slimy. He's a slimy salesperson. They don't trust him. So you want to make sure that they actually trust you as a salesperson, right? And trust who you are. Trust that they trust you coming out of your mouth, that you have some experience behind the product too as well. So they need to trust you. And the third one is that they need to trust the company or the business owner that actually is the product, that is the company. So when they trust the product, they trust you, and they trust the company, and they're on a whole level of from 1 to 10 on certainty, and they're a 10. They're not going to have objections, coming up after you give them the price. But if they're not certain on you, they're not certain on your company, they're not certain on something, they're going to have objections like, oh, I want to think about it. That's an uncertainty of, I need to make sure this is the right this product here is something is going on with the product, is either you or something. You didn't identify who it is. And you have to ask that second level question. Oh, what's there to think about? And really ask them second level questions, because it may be, I just don't know if it's going to work for me, or I just need to talk to my partner and make sure I'm doing the right thing. Right. So then they're going to give you something. Then you have to, pair it up with which of those 3 10s is it? They don't trust me? Because if they don't trust me, maybe I got to talk more about me. Maybe I got to loop it back into, my experience in my life and what I've seen and what I've done and how I got here, or, speak a little bit better and speak with more certainty and not ums and uhs when I'm speaking to them, because that's why they may not trust me. Or if it's the product, I can loop it back into the conversation that we had earlier. Oh, this is a perfect product. This is what we're going to do with this product. We're going to help you get from A to B, right? We're going to help you get, these types of results. Go back to the product so they can get more certainty on the product again. If it's the company, I need to loop it back to, man, do you trust this business owner? Trust them. Trust Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins has a track record of doing this. This is Tony Robbins. He's done over $9 billion. And I can loop it back to Tony Robbins. So I can identify what exactly are they not trusting, or do they not have certainty on? By asking those second, third level questions. And then once they tell me, I loop it back to the conversation that we had. And then I tell them, answer, a couple more questions about me and the product. Then I revert back to pitching them again all over. It's only $2,000. And I keep doing that, looping over and over until they get that certainty. Okay, let's just do it. Let's just get over it.
Right. Right. No, I love that. Yeah, because like I mean, when the value is like way up here above my screen, even, and the price is like associated to here, looks like we just lost Datrice. That's when you kind of have the best results, when the customer's completely sold on you, so they can make a more accelerated decision with you. But whoever's here still, I want to make sure that you guys saw this, or heard this. If you type in the word hashtag RAD, RAD, I'll get my team to share the our 8-step sales framework. It's a document. We'll get it to you on the DM. But I think we'll end it here right now. Hope you guys have a awesome Saturday and kind of get what you want. And if you need any help learning more about like scaling your agency, we have a masterclass coming up. It's just $97. Right when you join us, you'll get immediate access to our sales training video, our organic prospecting method with our exact scripts from Facebook Messenger, and then a paid masterclass, like how to run paid ads. It's called the soap ads process, like sexy offer application process. And then everybody will get a live training for a couple hours with me and Cody. We'll walk you through the roadmap to get to a 25 to $30,000 a month recurring revenue stream. So we'll kind of diagram the roadmap, show you what needs to be done and what to focus on the most based on where you're at. So I hope you guys take advantage of that. You can hop in my group. I'll tag the group. I think it's in the title somewhere, but I'll tag my group link there so you can hop over. But if you want the masterclass, we're capping it at 50 people, so we're getting close there. So ping me and I'll drop the link in the chat here so you have access to it.